Hello and welcome back to the chapter named as a statistic. Now in this chapter, what are we going to do is we are going to deal with the data and we are going to find out the different measure of that particular data. Right, so you would have studied this chapter from in your previous classes as well in a basic manner. So first here I'm going to repeat the same thing what you would have studied in the previous classes. Bear with me for a 5 minute because this is very important to clarify or to clear the concept what we have. Right, so as we know the statistic is dealing with the data majorly, right, which means first thing what we should have to apply the data, apply the statistical method, that can be either mean, median, mode, whatever it is, we should have a data. Right, now the data is divided into two parts, basically two category in terms of calculation, though in the terms of collection there are different types of category of data, but right now we will divide into two category. That first one is ungrouped and second one is grouped. Okay, so ungrouped data and the second one is ungrouped data. Remember, I'm talking about the numerical data over here. I'm not talking about the categorical data or the qualitative data. Qualitative data means good or bad, yes or no. I'm talking about the numerical data, quantitative data which has the number, right? So because the statistic can only deal with the quantitative data, right? So this I'm talking about the quantitative data. Right, quantitative data, though this information is not required for your syllabus, but right now try and understand that what exactly it is. Right, quantitative means data which can have a number. For example, height of the student, weight of the student, marks you obtain in your examination. Qualitative data means whether that person is fair or not, or what is your IQ level, right? So is it good or bad or something like that, right, which cannot give you the numerical. Okay, so ungrouped data and grouped data. Ungrouped data is nothing but a data which is directly collected from the field and keep it as it is. For example, in your class, let's assume that there are 50 students. I want to know the average attendance percentage of your class. So what will I do? I will go to your class. I will ask each and every person how many class they have attended, or I can take the register or I can count it. Assume that there are 50 students, so let's take first person got 85%, 90%, 80%, 60%, 10%, 20%, and so on. Right, so I have collected each student data and I have written as it is with the help of comma. This we call it as ungrouped data, where how you collected the data as it is you have dumped it, right? Now this has a disadvantage in a measure. What is the disadvantage is, assume that if you have 1,000 students or the data is like 1,000 or lakhs or something like that, so you can't keep writing that in a text, right? So in that condition, to overcome that particular thing, they have come up with a method called group data. Now in group they have divided into two categories. One is discrete, they call it as, and one is continuous. Now in the discrete what happened and continuous what happened? It's very simple, nothing to worry about. In discrete you will have a two column, let's X and F. Let's assume that this data is repeating from 50 to 55, right? 50 to 55, so let's say 50, 51, 50, 52, 53, 54, 55, 54, 55, like that, right? So I have taken the 10 data and I have this particular data. So this is the ungrouped data, right? But I don't want to write the 10 times this data. So what will I do? I can see this data is going from 50 to 55. So I'll write here 50, 51, 52, 53, 54 and 55. And what will I do? How many times the 50 is getting repeated? 1, 2. So I'll write here frequency 2. Similarly, how many times 51 is coming? Only 1. 52, how many times? Only 1. 53, there are only 1. 54, how many times? 1, 2 times. right? And 55, 1, 2, 3, 3 times. So if I total this, 3 to 5, 5 plus 5, 10. So this will become your frequency, right? So this is the short representation as compared to the ungrouped data, right? So ungrouped data can be also be represented, which means the 50 is repeating 2 times, 51 is 55 is 3 times, like that. This frequency told you the number of repetition that data has, right? Next comes the continuous data. Now you will tell, if sir, if discrete data is already there, why do you have to do the continuous data? The reason is, if assume that you have an ungrouped data which is ranging from 0 to 100, like attendance percentage only, or marks. Some students have 0 marks, some students have 1 mark, some students have 10 marks, 100 marks. So you can't keep writing from 0 to 100, right? It will again take the phases together. In that condition, we will convert this data into class interval, and then frequency. Now in that class interval, let's take 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on I'm taking, and frequency between 0 to 5, 10, how much ever is there, that we will write over there, right? So this is the 3 different categories of data, that is discrete, continuous, which comes under group, and ungrouped data. Now small things are there. These things, if you understand here, future classes or future reference or future solving problem will be very easy. Ungrouped data, whenever it comes, we are going to use the small n, which says number of observation. Remember that for ungrouped data, whatever measure we take, like mean, median, mode, or whatever, we call this as a small n we will take. Similarly, we have a group data. Whenever there is a group data, we are going to use capital N or summation f, frequency total. This we call it as a summation. So wherever there will be frequency, we will find the frequency total. In some textbook they have given the capital N, in some textbook they have written summation f only. Especially the student who study the economics and all, for them it is summation f. So you can follow both, nothing to worry about. Basically it is the summation of frequency, right? So this was the one thing. Second thing, okay, now let's talk about this class interval. If you would have observed, or you would have got doubt in your mind that 10 is here also and 10 is here also, 20 is here also, 20 is here also. Now which class to include? If I get a 10 in ungrouped data, if I am converting that into continuous, which one the 10 will go off, right? So for that I have to explain you the class interval in detail, right? So let's talk about the class interval. Class interval, so there are generally 3 categories of class interval. One, they call it as exclusive. Exclusive is nothing but something like this, where you have 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. Now in class interval, these are called as upper limit and these are called as lower limit. Remember, upper limit, lower limit. When the upper limit of this first class and lower limit of second class is same, we call this as an exclusive class interval. And here you can take 0 to 9.99999 you can take, but 10 will go to this class. Similarly, 20 will go to this class, 30 will go to this class, right? So whenever there is an exclusive class interval, upper limit will be included in the next class, right? So, and you can take 0.9999, but the 10 will go to the next class. Next category is inclusive class interval. Inclusive. Now in inclusive, what happens? Both upper limit and lower limits are in the same class, which means something like this: 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, and so on. Here if you can see, 0 and 9 both will be included in this. This will be not equal. Whenever you find this kind of class, we name this as inclusive, and we will assume that 0 and 9 both are included in the same class. But in inclusive class interval, there is a disadvantage. What is the disadvantage is, if I have a value called 9.5, Where will you include? Do we have a place to include that? No, because this will take only up to 9 and this will start from 10. So between 9 and 10, whatever the value is there will not be taken into consideration, correct? Now for that, to overcome with that difficulties or that problem or that error, what we have to do is, whenever there is an inclusive class interval, no matter what, right, first you have to do the conversion and convert that inclusive class interval into exclusive class interval. How do we convert that? That we will learn now. So I hope you understood that whenever there is an inclusive class interval, convert that first into exclusive and then proceed further to do the analysis or to do the problem, mean, median, mode, whatever you have. So how do we convert this is, I hope you know these are upper limit and these are lower limit. So there is one small formula, we call this as a correction factor. Correction factor. What is this correction factor means? It says that second class lower limit minus first class upper limit divided by 2. First you find out. So second class lower limit is nothing but 10 minus 9 by 2, which is nothing but 0.5. This 0.5 should be added in the upper limit and subtracted in the lower limit. Always. Whatever the value you get here by using the correction factor, generally it will be 0.5 only 99% of the cases. That should be added and subtracted. Now if you add, what will happen? Just see. 0 minus 0.5, so minus 0.5. 9 plus 0.5 to 9.5, correct? 10 minus 0.5 will become 9.5. To 19 plus 0.5 will become 19.5. 20 minus 0.5 will become 19.5. To 29 plus 0.5 will become 29.5. Now can you see, this will become exclusive class interval. Right, so this is how we can convert the inclusive class interval to the exclusive. These are all introduction. These are like prerequisite of this particular chapter. Until unless you know this chapter, if you know this particular thing, this chapter will become very, very easy for you. Right, so exclusive, inclusive, I hope you would have understood by now. Please make a note of it. Not many teachers or not many people will give you this particular formula, but this will help you in the higher standard when you start studying. Okay. There is a third category. I will write like this. It's called open-end classes. Let me just write here. It's called open-end classes. What do you mean by open-end classes? You would have seen your lower classes, or if you're solving the statistics things, you have classes something called as below 10, below 20 and so on, or you would have classes above 10, above 20 or something like that, where only upper limit or lower limit is defined, other limit is undefined. That kind of class we call it as a open-end classes. Now there is one more thing in this. Whenever there is open-end classes, in the frequency column they will give you the cumulative frequency. What do you mean by cumulative frequency is, cumulative frequency I will teach you here only for this. There are two types of cumulative frequency. I'll just erase this. I hope you have written this. If not, rewind the video and write on that. First one is lower cumulative frequency. Let me write somewhere here. Okay, here I will write. Cumulative frequency. Okay, so there are two types of cumulative frequency. One is lower, one is upper. Remember, whenever they have given the data, if your frequency is in increasing order or it is in decreasing order, if it is in increasing order, it is a lower cumulative frequency. If it is in decreasing order, it is a upper, increasing and decreasing. Right, but how do we find that? Correct. So let's find that. Assume that this is the frequency they have given. I'm not taking the class interval part because there is a less space here, but I want to explain you how to find the cumulative frequency. Even when we do the problems, that time also I'll explain you how to find the frequency. But right now, understand, if they have, let's say they have given 2, 7, 5, 4, 3. So what is the total? 5 plus 3 7, 14, 14 plus 7 is 21. So assume that there is a 21 is total, correct? Now to find the cumulative frequency, I'm finding the lower cumulative frequency first, and then I'll find the more than cumulative frequency or upper cumulative frequency. It's also called as less than cumulative frequency and more than cumulative frequency. To find the lower cumulative frequency, first value you write as it is 2. Now 2 plus 7, 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. 14 plus 4, you have to keep adding the next value to that particular thing. 18. 18 plus 3 is nothing but 21. This is how you can do that. Now for more than cumulative frequency, either if you want you can subtract, or I would prefer to go from the bottom. Same thing we will do from the bottom. First value you write as it is 3. 3 plus 4, 7. 7 plus 5, 12. 12 plus 7, 19. 19 plus 2, 21. So you can see this is in decreasing order and this is in increasing order. So this is how we can find out the cumulative frequency. Remember, whenever they have given the open-end classes, if it is a below case, you will have a lower cumulative frequency. If it is above case, you will have a more than cumulative frequency. Lower cumulative frequency, more than cumulative frequency. Right? So pause the video, note down all these things, and then we will start the problem or the method with the fresh whatever we have. We'll start with the mean, and then we will see median, mode and everything, right? So pause the video to note it down. I hope you remember what and all we have studied. We have studied, let me just recap everything. We have studied the different type of data, that is ungrouped and grouped. In group we have discrete and continuous. Then in continuous we have a class interval. We studied the 3 different type of class interval. Exclusive, where both upper limit is not included in the class. Then we studied inclusive, where both are included, but whenever there is inclusive we have to convert into exclusive. To convert this we have studied the correction factor. And the third type we have studied open-ended classes, where we have below, above, less than, greater than, or something like that, where the one limit or one upper limit or lower limits are not given. In that condition they will give you the cumulative frequency. In that there are 2 type of cumulative frequency, less than and more than. So less than means we have to keep adding, and more than, from the bottom we have to keep adding that things, right? So pause the video to note it down, then we will see.